Well then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. JBL Motovlogs here, and today we're back on the mighty L plates. Well, actually there's no L plates on this one, but we are back reviewing yet another bike. And today, well, for these next 2 weeks, we're reviewing the Sinnis Terrain 125. There's a 380 version of this bad boy, but this one is the CBT compatible, A1 compatible 125 Little Adventure Tourer. It's the beginner's GS. It's a fantastic little bike. I've had a week riding on it. Today, although this is probably one of the most British days you can have, unfortunately we've got to get out and we've got to get a real world review in. So, Sinnis Terrain 125. This one, obviously in the white model, also comes in a red and a grey model. This one coming in at 2,999 brand new, and you know what, for the money you get a pretty nifty little package. Top box, panniers, crash bars, big windscreen, mirrors. We are talking the full works on this little bad boy for 3 grand brand new. Engine wise, obviously 125cc engine, or 124.7 or whatever they are these days, which is on the higher end of a 125. Reason being, it's carrying a lot of weight. It's coming in 167 kilo, which I still don't think is that bad. You know, you've got all the kit on it, the crash bars and the, you know, all the rear luggage and stuff. So yeah, kind of get why it's on the higher end. But we'll talk a little bit power delivery and how powerful it actually is when we get out to ride. Tyres on it, yeah, it's kind of a little adventure tourer, so it's on road. It's like, I don't know what the percentage are on the tyres, but it's got road tyres with a kind of a knobbly capability, so you can take it on these little off-road tracks and down green lanes if you want. So front is a 120 17 I think, and then a front I think is a 100, so very skinny tyres, and we'll talk a little bit about that when we get on and how it rides. So luggage wise, 66.5 litres of luggage you can get in here. You've got 2 side boxes. This one's a little bit bigger than the other one. Bungee nets inside. We'll talk about that when the rain stops and we'll open them up. Little top box. Still think there could be a bigger top box on the back, big enough to fit a helmet in, but yeah, got a little cushion pad on the back for a pillion pegs down here, and surprisingly I have ridden with a pillion on. We'll have a little chat about that as well when we get going. As for the longer touring side of things, you know, the ergonomics, your foot pegs are sat forward, handlebars are a bit higher, a bit wider, mirrors are there, screen's beautiful, but then again you've got this lovely little USB port, and if you know me, that's a winner in my eyes. Gearbox, 6-speed gearbox as usual. Gearbox as using it is perfect, smooth, not really missed any gears sort of thing. Gearbox works, all the oil and stuff inside, it's beautiful, it runs. So yeah, 780mm seat height. I'm 5'4", so yeah, I'm on the short side of things, and it's, you know, it's kind of just a comfortable bike to ride for me. It rides really well, and to be honest with you, it really doesn't feel like a 125 in my eyes, and I say that honestly. You know what I'm like with these reviews, if there's something I don't like, I'll tell you. And there is a few little niggles with this bike, but I'm not going to be too harsh on it because it is a 125. Right, let's get this little whippet fired up and we'll talk about how she rides. So yeah, I've been commuting on this to work and back, and I have rode it in the wet, because all it's been doing since I've had this bike is rain. I have not rid it in the dry yet. So, well, maybe like the first day I got it, but not a proper ride. It was just a ride on from the old work. So then let's not waste some time. Let's have a little chat about the Sinnis Terrain C125. So when you first hop on it, let's say I'm 5'4", ergonomics wise is probably the main thing you want to notice when you get on a bike straight away. And yeah, super comfortable ergonomics. Feet are kind of in front of you, if I'm honest with you. You're sat in a very, very neutral position. The handlebars are wide and they're a bit high up. Straight off the bat, it's something I'm not a fan of, the high up handlebars. It is quite annoying. I don't know why, it's just not something I like. I usually like them a bit down. Obviously I like a wide handlebar, you get a lot more leverage and control, but high up bars, not the biggest fan of it. With the seat's nice and comfortable. The thing is with the seat, what I'm going to do today is I've got an hour and an hour and 30 minutes to Kirby Lonsdale. So what I'm going to do is try not stop if I can and just see how, even if I get uncomfortable, I'm just going to see what's uncomfortable about the ergonomics of the bike. So I'm going to try to do it in one go, hit it through the rain, see what it is. But at the gate, the seat's quite comfortable. It's kind of raised as well, so you can kind of sit a bit further back if you want that more over the screen position. Cockpit display, so the bike revs to 11.5, 12,000 RPM on the limiter, and it revs to 9 just before it hits the limiter. Take it to the limiter down here. So it hits the limiter at 10. And to be honest with you, when you first get on it, it's a 125, what do you expect? It's a whole bunch of fun, but after a while, I mean, it's got 6 gears. Most 125s I've ridden always have 5 gears, so it's kind of nice to have that little extra push at the end. But with the engine being small, not putting out a lot of power, the clutch is ridiculously light. I'm talking like you could probably just index finger it. I'll try it actually. Yeah, you can index finger that. And then the throttle response is really nice. I thought at first this was an electronic throttle when I first jumped on it from the way it responded, but I cleaned the bike and had a little look around it, and it's actually just a throttle cable, so it's a well maintained one. But switch gear then, all up in the cockpit. So as I was saying, you've got all the dash area. The dash is telling you speed, it's a gear indicator which is lovely, fuel gauge which is nice, always better than one of them. Even a Ducati Street Fighter doesn't have a fuel gauge. It tells you the time, which is great, and then you've got, I think you've got trips and stuff, I'm not sure. Oh no, you don't, not trips. Haven't had a fiddle around the menus yet because I don't really want to mess with it. USB makes it all worth it. That's the one thing, if you was to go onto an adventure, so one thing I need to take with me. If I was to go out on a tour on a bike, you need some sort of power output on your bike, so to have that built in from factory is an absolute bonus for 3 grand. Right, we'll have a little break for a bit talking about this lovely machine. We'll head a little bit further out and I'll talk to you about my experiences when I have another half an hour, 40 minutes in the saddle. First get on this, I was I'm not gonna lie, I'm a confident rider in all conditions, but coming from, you know, a tyre that's very good in the wet, I'm gonna say it's exceptional in the wet, a Road 5, to a cheaper budget 125 tyre that was a knobbler, very sceptical about riding in wet conditions, and especially on a 120 rear, that is a very nimble tyre, so when you lean into a corner you really feel like it's just tipping in fast and everything's happening a little too fast. But getting used to it, these tyres, they're alright in the wet. The bike doesn't produce enough power to make them spin out. The only way you're really going to let this tyre overload it is if you enter a corner way too fast or you harshly brake. As long as you load the tyre before you work it, it should be okay. I don't know what pressures they're running at, but if you're steady and smooth with your riding, these tyres will work all day long. You can tell that definitely. Around these corners, obviously stuff like gravel and stuff, it holds off a little better than a Road 5. There's a little bit of knobbly on it, so it grips it, chucks it out from under the tread. Stuff like manhole covers, nothing likes a manhole cover, so that ain't really gonna affect it. You've got to be careful of them and cattle grids. But the only thing I really don't like about the tyres is again the width of them, but I know they had to, you know, save some sort of weight somewhere, and that's going to be coming from the tyres. You know, if you put a 150 on the rear, it's a lot more weight on the tyre, rim, air, it all adds up. So not a 120 fan, but I'm getting used to it, that's the main part. Suspension, got inverted forks on the front and just a single shock on the rear. Just the monoshot. It handles pretty well, like you say, because you can't go that fast on it and really work and ride the bike. You don't really notice how the suspension even handles. If you're going around corners at 30, 40, it does its job. And with it being a, you know, cross-country sort of adventure bike, it wants to go off-road, so it's got that softer setting as well, which I've noticed on like bumps like this. Standing up, it just takes them no problem. Here we go, what forgot here. Yeah, it'll do its job, no problem at all. Again, what you got to remember, guys, with this is, you know, there might be a few things you're saying, God, you're very overly critical on it, but it's a review, and I know I come from this is a budget bike, but I'm just telling you the honest truth, you know. Stuff like the brakes are fine. The only problem is it's got one caliper on the front, one on the back, but the rear brake is so much stronger than the front brake. This is the front brake, and then this is the rear. Like, I've never seen a bike with that on, but it's kind of like this is your trail brake, and that's your main brake, but if you use them together and adjust, you'll be fine. This is what it's built for though. Touring, adventure. Standing up on the pegs as well, because of where they are, you've still got enough travel to kick about and move about. Knees are in a nice position as well. If you're wondering why you keep seeing me stop at Silent Road and keep starting back up, it's because it keeps absolutely chucking it down, and I don't want the microphone connectors in the GoPro to ruin for the rest of the day, so I keep banging them back in the top box because it's absolutely thrashing down. But again, these tyres, they aren't even done 400 miles, but they're doing super well. Really enjoying it. These roads, you see, they're not the greatest roads. They're like little single track back lane roads covered in grit and dirt and all sorts, really. Leaves, little puddles, trails. These tyres are just eating it up. Anything better than the Road 5s. Honestly, it's kicking it out of the way. Obviously there's not much horsepower going through it, but I really think to let these tyres loose, as in to get them to fail or lap, yeah, you've really got to overload them quite badly. But flying down them lanes at 40, 50, brilliant, just getting rid of all that rubbish. Look, we're going back into the rain, eh? Anyway, if you're wondering where we are, I thought I'd take a little break for a sec. We're in the Forest of Bowland, Gisborne Forest and Stocks Reservoir. I've been here once before when we were going to Hard Knock Pass for the first ever time. Come through this way, so I thought I'd jump on Kalimoto, look where I've been, because it's a brilliant feature. It shows you all the routes you've been. I thought, oh, I remember going up there, we'll have a little look. Obviously it looks totally different now, it was a 30-degree day then, but the one thing I did want to really speak about was city riding. Something, you know, where I am in the Dales and around that area, it's quite open, there's not a lot of city riding, but for you guys that are down south or live near a city and you're wanting this as a commuter, I know straight away it's a brilliant commuter bike. If I was to have it, I would probably put try to find a better tyre for it. I'm not really an off-road kind of guy, but like down here, look at the state of this. It just cuts straight through it all. Suspension, puddles, bit of gravel. MT-07 would have spun up a bit there, but yeah, city riding then. So slow stuff, obviously. With the slow stuff, the clutch is super light. That's just no problem at all. The one thing that was kind of nervy for me is the fact that this has panniers on. Never ridden with a bike with panniers, so I was kind of nervous to filter between cars. What I've noticed is that these crash bars seem to perfectly line up with the width of the rear pannier. So if you're ever wondering if you can squeeze through a gap, if you look, it's alright and you should be able to squeeze through it. They're exactly the same, so nice little feature, I've noticed that. Come on, little one, you've got it. There's a sneaky little right-hander over this hill. Way! Ooh, would you look at that for a view, guys. Just have a little admiration. Wow. One thing I've noticed as well, which isn't too quiet. Oh my god, there's a wasp there, look at that! Come on, bud. This is what we do on JBL Motor Vlogs. Get out here in that god awful weather and ride. So fuel then, let's crack on. We all know fuel's been a little bit of a problem lately, don't we? Well, this bike has been my saviour. The MT is my everyday commuter, and I was running on fumes the other week, and I honestly could not get any petrol for it. Luckily, I'd got this from Sinnis on the Thursday. Mr. Richa who had it before me had whacked in £8, and that got me to work and back until I managed to get some fuel for the MT. So I filled this up. I think I filled it up for about £10. I don't know how many miles in we are today. I've done about 180 on it so far, and I've got 3 bars left of this tank, so I'm hoping we don't run out today, because it's going to be a pain to find a petrol station. So fuel economy is exactly what you get with a 125. They're pittance. You can go for miles without putting fuel in it. I told you these roads were perfect for this little thing. Way! Come on, Alan! You've got one more gear left. One more gear. Come on. Let's get up this hill. Got to carry all your speed. A little stop at the bridge, very quiet, but is what it is. Head back down the 65 and see what's what. We should have got on this bike last weekend now. Kind of fallen in love with it a little bit. I like it. So the manual handling, here's one. Yeah, 168 kilo, but don't feel like anything. So I just wanted to have a little chat then about what I don't like about the Sinnis. I hate talking about stuff I don't like unless I actively, majoritively dislike it, but I do like this bike. The tiny little niggle thing is the fuel indicator when it's on its side stand. I had a little heart attack, but I suppose if you was to own the bike you wouldn't even start noticing it. Another thing is, this is going to sound really picky, but it is kind of annoying. The fuel, so there's F for full, E for empty, and then the fuel logo's yellow. So I keep thinking that that's lit up saying I've got low fuel, but what it is it's just the colour of the plastic behind it. But it is what it is. Again, you get used to it if you owned it. The other one is the front brake. I know it's a budget brake setup, but for a rear brake to be stronger than the front brake, I don't really get that. I don't really know how that's happened. It might just be this model, this exact one, I don't know, but the rear brake is so much stronger than the front. When I first got it I was like, when you first ever get on a bike ever and you don't realise how strong the brakes actually are. So second up is I don't like the skinny tyres. I'm not a fan of that. It's not cracky, and the higher handlebars, your arms get a little bit. I suppose if you're used to it, it's not too bad. Today it's not been, in fact today it's been fine, but when I first got on it, like after like 10 or 15 minutes my hands were raised and I don't know, I didn't like it. But yeah, I took that last hour and a half besides quickly getting on and off to switch the camera and put it back in the top box. Comfort wise the seat was fine. If you're wondering what gear I'm wearing, if it affects it, I've got the RUKKA Kalix 2 Goretex set on, so it's kind of got a little bit of padding in the buttocks area, but not too much where it will affect kind of whatever seat I'm sat on. I usually get a lot of rear pain when I'm on the MT07 after long stints. But no, overall, honestly, I really do like it. I'm super glad Sinnis have given me the opportunity to have this for 2 weeks and let me put it through a proper JBL review. That's the thing. Quite honest with bikes, the stuff I don't like I say, and stuff I do like I do say. So it's always good for manufacturers to get a proper review instead of getting like a magazine and stuff to say nice things about it so they keep the relationship with them. But So any questions you've got about the Sinnis, you know, if you are contemplating buying it or anything, even if you don't really care about it, you just want to ask a question, leave it in the comment section below, and promise I'll reply to them all, because I'm curious to what people think about a 125. It seems to be once you get off your CBT license or your A1, they get forgotten about. But anyway guys, hope you're sick of me rambling on. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you've got this far, then I've obviously done something right. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like in the section below. The reason I ask that is it just helps get the channel noticed and the videos reached out a little further to new people, and obviously in turn grow the JBL audience. Quick little thank you as well for hitting 4,000 subscribers, growing steadily with a nice little tight-knit community. So it's awesome to have you all along, and if you are brand new, if you want to hit subscribe, it's totally up to you. I'm not one to press here. But thank you for watching guys, hope you did enjoy this one. If you are new, go have a look at the rest of the channel, so you might enjoy. Just finished the Isle of Skye tour on the MT-07, that's got pretty good feedback, so I hope you go and enjoy that one. But apart from that, I'm going to finish my ride off today. Hopefully the weather stays dry, and I will see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, ride safe. It's been JBL Motovlogs, and I'm out.